Hey everyone, welcome to Truth Threads. Before the story begins, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? I love reading your stories too. Now, let's begin. I still remember that day vividly. The smell of roasted coffee beans, the faint sound of laughter, and my son sitting right in front of me, smiling like everything was perfect. We hadn't met for months since his marriage, and he had invited me to lunch at my favorite restaurant. For a mother, that moment was priceless. He ordered juice for me and smiled softly, saying, "You deserve to relax, Mom." I thought it was his way of making up for the distance between us. But when he got up to take a phone call, something strange caught my attention. The security guard at the entrance kept looking at our table, his expression tight. When my son left the restaurant, the guard walked straight to me, hesitated, and whispered something that froze my blood. "Ma'am, I saw him pour something into your juice." My hands trembled as I stared at the glass, the bright orange liquid reflecting my own disbelief. My son, my only child, would never do that. Or would he?
2 days later, I visited my daughter-in-law unannounced. She seemed nervous to see me and kept avoiding eye contact. I told her I wanted to surprise my son with a family dinner. When I left the house, I quietly slipped a small voice recorder behind their living room shelf. That night, I listened to what it captured. My son arguing with her, saying, "If she signs the property papers, we'll get everything faster." That was it. My own son was planning to poison me for my husband's inheritance. The betrayal hit harder than death. But instead of confronting him, I planned something colder. I went to my lawyer, rewrote my will, and made sure every penny went to charity. But here's the twist. I also included a clause. If my son ever tried to claim the property, all legal evidence, including the restaurant footage and audio recordings, would be automatically handed to the police. A week later, I invited him again to the same restaurant, pretending to forgive and forget. He smiled, confident, thinking I was still his naive mother. I raised my glass of juice, looked straight into his eyes, and said, "You know, son, it's painful when someone close betrays you, but it's even worse when they think you'll never find out." His smile faded instantly. He knew I had seen everything. My world shattered in seconds. I tried to act normal, pretending to take a sip, but my heart was pounding so hard it felt like the walls were closing in. I excused myself to the washroom, threw the juice away, and called my best friend, Nadia. She told me to stay calm and collect proof. I walked back to the table and told my son I wasn't feeling well. His eyes flickered just for a moment, and I saw something dark. That night I couldn't sleep. My mind raced with questions. Why would he do that? Was someone forcing him? The next morning, I went to the restaurant again and spoke to the manager. Thankfully, they had security footage. When I saw the video, I broke. My son was clearly pouring powder into my drink, looking around nervously. Tears blurred my eyes as the manager looked away, uncomfortable. I took the footage home and sat alone, staring at my wedding photo on the wall. My late husband's face seemed to ask, "Where did we go wrong?" That's when it hit me. This wasn't just betrayal. It was something deeper, and I was going to find out what it was. Days later, the police arrived at his home. The security footage and the audio recording had done their job.
My son was arrested for attempted poisoning and financial fraud. My daughter-in-law confessed everything, how she had convinced him that money was more important than family, and how guilt had started to eat him alive. In court, I didn't cry. I just stood there, watching the boy I raised, now broken, destroyed by his own greed. Before the judge announced the sentence, my son turned to me and whispered, "Mom, I'm sorry." I simply replied, "So am I." It wasn't revenge through rage. It was justice through silence. He took my love for granted, and when he tried to destroy me, I made sure the truth destroyed him instead. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. It's cold, patient, and final. So tell me, what would you have done if you were in my place? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Truth Threads for more real-life revenge stories that'll keep you thinking long after the video ends. And remember, betrayal hurts, but karma never misses.